Well, when the bond issue came out and I started looking at it and the sheet that they gave out about the reason why they were wanting to do this, the thing that, you know, seemed to be coming up over and over again was that we're doing this for the children.
Now, in spite of rumors to the contrary, I do love children and I love puppies too. But what I'm concerned about is educational outcome for our students, not the age of the buildings or whether they're portable or whether they're pretty. I'm for results, and so far I'm not seeing results from the money that's been spent in the past.
When I discussed the school bond with several individuals, the discussion, the school that was being built in the Wall area, Wall Independent School District, was something like 90,000 square feet. And the cost for that building was around $17.5 million. And when we started talking about this bond that we're having here in San Angelo and talking about maybe building a $32 million gym at Central High School, a gym's not going to cure the education, the academics of our children.
And I just think, you know, how can we leave our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren this legacy of debt?
The position of the school board is that they feel and suggest that senior citizens 65 years and older who have the homestead exemption should definitely vote yes for this bond issue because they won't have to pay the taxes. Well, that's insulting to me because many of those senior citizens who won't have to pay the taxes have children and grandchildren who will have to pay the taxes.
My 20-year-old sons to live in San Angelo. I want them to be able to afford to live in San Angelo.
To me, the #1 reason that this bond needs to be defeated is if you take it and couple it with the bond that was passed just in recent years, you're talking about the San Angelo Independent School District asking us for $1/3 billion for our schools. And that kind of investment is not being reflected in the ultimate goal, or the ultimate, goal of what the San Angelo Independent School District should be doing, which is educating our children.
My problem to begin with is I believe in paying off my debt before I create new debt. I mean, I'm in business to make money and to stay alive. I don't run up the second credit card while I still owe on the first credit card.
And we're piling one unpaid debt on top of another.
When it comes to $149 million plus interest, plus our previous debt that is not paid off, this cannot be an emotional issue.
They're grouping everything together, and just like in our households, we have to prioritize what we really must buy and what would be nice to have.
And one of the things that really bothers me on a personal level as well is I see this bond and it just far too resembles a congressional omnibus spending, pork barrel laden spending bill with everything lumped in all at once. The San Angelo Independent School Board needs to get their priorities lined out, and they need to come to us with bonds that have the highest priorities singled out and say this bond is specifically for this. Let's vote on it. Next year, come back with the next bond and say, okay, we've got that going, we're working on it, so we need another bond for this specific topic. That's what we need to see, is detailed, lined out spending, not these big pork barrel spending projects like we get from DC.
I'm in opposition to the latest San Angelo school bond, of course, because we're still in debt from the prior bond. And haven't really seen where that has made a difference in the educational outcome for our students.
Our government, national, local, every government seems to want to put together a plan of what they need or what they want and then just raise taxes in order to get it.
One of the things that bothers me about the proposed contract is that the school board went to Dallas to get expert advice on how to go about the bond issue. I'm wondering if they're going to go out of town to get the contractors to fulfill that contract. If they do, the money is going to go out of San Angelo and isn't going to do us any good.
Well, that's the deal. Any type of program that you adopt in the school district, if you do not have the proper funding to reach out and cover all the security through all the campuses, then the timing is wrong for that.
If they truly want this to be a safety and security bond for the safety of the students of SAISD, they need to be doing this district-wide.
Well, when you start building fences around campuses, you're institutionalizing the campuses, such as Carver, okay?
Does SAISD really think that a chain link fence is going to keep our kids safe? There are much better ways to keep our kids safe.
When you see Carver and you see wire mesh on the windows and the fence built all around it, it seems that they're preparing our students for an institution in the future. Building fences around our campuses will start looking like institutions. And I think it's sending out the wrong, I think we're overreacting to this, okay?
And what we really must buy here in San Angelo, SAISD, is number one, security for all campuses.
If SAISD truly wants to do a security bond, let's have them come back to us with an entire district-wide security bond that the citizens of San Angelo can get behind.
Not just part, they've got part of them covered. How would you feel if your child's school was attacked and your child ended up hurt or worse? And it was only because, well, we're going to do that next year, or we're going to do that the next bond that we...
I can make these schools safe, redo the entranceways, I guarantee you, for a whole lot less than $149 million.
When I drive by the Central and I see the copper top, and that just, really concerns me, because it seems like so much emphasis is on building beautiful buildings. And yet when we go and we look at the scores are not going up. The scores are going down, down, down.
Bit of money that is taxed and goes to the school board is money that the consumer, the renter, the homeowner cannot use to improve their own home, to buy groceries.
Instead of work, to me, money or spending the money on building does not prove that we love or care about our children. Time, attention, interest are the real currencies of love and caring. And that's what we need to be concerned about. That will change the educational outcome for our students, not a new building.
And getting, for example, those $32 million that they're talking about putting at Central High School for a gymnasium and building maybe 2 brand new schools, real nice elementary schools.
Because they're trying to force feed this whole $150 million bond issue, okay?
I want the best that's for the kids. I see how many things they don't know just when I interact with them out in the public. If the cash registers that are electronic were taken away, they couldn't add up a bill for 2 lattes and a Chick-fil-A dinner.
We do care about our children. We need to look at bigger opportunities for them instead of a new building. We need to look at maybe expanding vocational programs and opportunities to give them the tools to be plumbers, electricians, learn welders, things that motivate them, that they enjoy, and that they can turn that into making a living for a family.
I would like to see a much smaller bond with a more narrow scope of spending.
It seems that they keep on bringing bond issues up about every 10 years. The last bond issue back in 2007 won't be paid off till I think it's 2032. This bond issue is another 25-year bond issue. At the rate it's going, we keep adding bond issue after bond issue, which continually increases taxes of those people who have to pay it.
I care about the children. I don't want to saddle my children with a bunch of debt.
How do you pay back $334 million, which is what will be owed on this school bond?
So by keeping our tax rates down, we will enable these children to be able to stay here in our home area where they can afford to have a home that they can raise their families in and stay in a place that they love.
Seeing that I don't care about the children if I vote no on this bond, that's ridiculous.
Whenever anybody tries to sell me something by guilting me into it, and that's certainly what this feels like. The campaign by the San Angelo Independent School District has been revolved around this is for the kids, and it's because we love our kids and we want to do for our kids.
I think in many cases, the way they present the bonds, legislation, and many other things, the powers that be, the school boards, the cities, the county, the state, they assume that we are not smart enough to know what's going on and that we cannot understand it. And what I would like is to have all of the information out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
You figure out a way to manage that better. That's my message to the school board. I know there's good people serving on the school board. I don't have any problem with the people. It's your business plan. Your business plan is to spend my money in a way that I don't really like it to be spent. I don't think it should be spent that way.
We're certainly not going to grow our economy by taxing ourselves.
And the seniors who aren't going to be paying the tax will still be feeling the effects of it, because where they go and buy products, get their hair done, all those different types of things, with taxes going up for those people, they'll start raising their prices. So the seniors will be affected by it no matter how you look at it.
It's going to hit 65 years old and older. Say, no, it's not going to hit them. Yes, it is. Because we shop in the community. And when the landlords of businesses, business owners have to raise their prices to cover this tax increase, they pass it on. Businesses don't end up paying the taxes. It's always passed on.
Building buildings and spending money does not prove to children you care about them or you love them. I'm sorry. I know many kids that live in $30,000 homes, and I'm sure they're just as loved and just as cared about as the kids that live in $500,000 homes. I mean, and that's what we're saying. We've ruined a whole generation, maybe more than a generation, of buying things and buying love and showing we care through material things, and that has absolutely nothing to do with it. And we're seeing that mentality in this bond.
You know, we, the taxpayer, are the first ones hit up on taxes and the last ones considered.
It's true.
And it's just very concerning, you know, that all this money is put into the aesthetics, the building, maybe to help someone's architectural career, rather than to help the students in the classroom.
You're going to pay for it, one way or the other. The landlord where you rent is going to get his money. He doesn't have a money tree.
It is true.
Also, I don't feel like it's a wise use of my extra tax dollars to be funding locker rooms at Lakeview High School for the baseball team. We don't need to be paying for that out of bond money. If they want to take that out of the regular funds that they normally take out of our small paychecks that we're getting now, that's fine. Do without something else to get that done. But let's not go after us, ask for more money so that a third of the students at Lakeview High School can have a new locker room when they currently already have locker room facilities that are just fine and up to standards.
Do you you realize that what this equates to is a 12% across the board tax hike? That's what it really comes down to. Are you willing to have your taxes go up across the board 12% because the school district needs more money?
We are taxed enough already, TEA, okay? And we really are. We are the sacred cow, if you will. In every state, we are the taxpayers. They come to us for our federal taxes, our state taxes, our county taxes, and of course our local taxes. There is no more. There is no more. We are we're ready to collapse.
To see some real hard reasoning how spending this money is going to benefit and proactively benefit the bottom line in the mission of educating the kids.
The priority has got to be security and then teaching our children. So
the school district anyway. Most of our tax dollars go to the school district.
This 150 million could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and we just say, now what? I'm sorry, we've collapsed.
It takes you voting no.
We're doing that. We are the ones, we're already the ones picking up for SAISD, for the county, for the roads, for the water, that we've had to pay bond issues for that. So there isn't any more. There just isn't any more. You can't get blood from a rock.
So I want to ask all you seniors and everybody in the city, get out and vote. Voting is already in progress with early voting, and May 5th is the actual election day to vote for this bond. So again, get out and vote no.
This bond will pass if you do not get out and vote no.
To get out there and vote, you have to take the time.
Unless you go vote no, this is going to pass. It's going to be a reality that your taxes are going to go up.
I'm all for children. I would encourage you to vote no on the school bond. We need to change the educational outcome for these children, and just throwing money at the problem is not the way to do that.
We hear a lot about democracy, and we hear a lot about people having control of the world that they live in. Very often, that is only at the local level. We have an opportunity now to voice our opinion and to influence a decision. It's time for us to stand up and say no to what's being done, because what's being done is not right for us, for our community, or for our children. We have to say no to this bond.
Please go out and vote no.
I would like to ask the community to come out and vote against this bond.
I'm asking you to please go out, vote your conscience, vote no for the school bond 2018.
Why we should vote no for this bond issue.
Strongly urge all my fellow San Angelo residents to vote no.
Well, I know in my business that I have the opportunity to talk with various people, and I've discussed this issue with them. And I've found very few people who are really for the bond. And I just encourage them and I remind them, you know, that the bond issue will pass unless those of us who are not for the bond issue at this time go and register our vote, and we stand together, we let our voices be heard, and we vote this bond issue down.
That's it in a nutshell.